Apex, the peak of South African motoring.
So Van, we are back at Franschhoek Pass, this time in a much different car than the Audi RS3. First of all, it's an SUV.
Nice.
And second of all, it's a hybrid.
Nice.
Haval's first hybrid vehicle in South Africa, and also their most powerful car currently available locally, as well as the car that sips the least amount of fuel, that wears a Haval badge.
And that is like my selling point.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we are getting nailed with fuel prices. And
well, it's not a laughing matter.
Who can afford, well, the average person, can you really afford a full EV at a bar, 2 bar, 3 bar?
Yeah.
Yet here you've got an option to have a really tidy hybrid at 670.
Yeah.
This thing turned heads wherever I went. But it looks decent. It looks the part. But I do still think at the end of the day, people are very much brand snobs.
Yeah, I think we do have a very dyed-in-the-wool market, but I think with Haval there's so much interest in the brand.
Yeah.
And I think especially over the past couple of years when they introduced the Jolian, which
Jesus, I see so many on the road.
They sold so many, and with the H6 as well, which looks great. And then of course the H6 GT,
which sounds pretty decent.
And I've seen a couple of them on the road. And now the range stopping H6, which is also a hybrid, and it does have a couple of model specific design cues for the grille, and I mean all of that. You have your hybrid specific displays inside, although my biggest gripe with the car is operating or navigating this system while on the move is not user friendly at all. So it's best left to the front passenger.
If they like you and they want to go through the effort of putting your seat heater on for you.
A couple of buttons for the seat heating, which is standard. There's the sunroof is standard. This is ultra luxury, guys, and it does live up to the name, because it does feel very luxurious. The trimmings and everything like that as well.
With this car, like, you don't need to add anything.
Nothing.
So your 670, $50 less, gets you absolutely everything, and the kitchen sink, and which is probably tucked back there because there's so much space in the back. Like, this is really, like, from a driver experience, it's engaging. It's like a very nice, like the whole front kind of cabin area is, I like it.
Okay, so we do have a gripe with this infotainment system.
Yes,
it's very crisp. You have the 360-degree 3D surround view camera and everything, which, I mean, everything works just fine. But as I mentioned, navigating the system, it's not user friendly. It does take some time getting used to. More buttons would have been appreciated. But another gripe we had with other Havals is the fuel consumption, because they do tend to be very thirsty. We got about 5.7, 5.6 liters per 100 kilometers, which I think is very commendable. But speaking of the electric motors and all of that, I found it very interesting, is that usually, if I'm correct, the engine produces more power than the electric motor, and the electric motor, the engine is only supplemented by the electric motor. It helps with fuel consumption, it gives you a bit of extra punch and all of that. But in this, the electric motor produces more power and torque than the internal combustion engine, which I found very interesting.
That is hell of interesting. Like, if you look at just the torque alone. So with the normal engine, 230,
Yeah.
233, the electric 300.
Yeah.
So, and then combined 530 meters of torque. Like that's crazy. It is. I do find that interesting, and like it's impressive.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's why this is quite a punchy car on like long distance. Like I find it very punchy. But yeah, like this car, I like it. The design I like. The speakers that's like built into the door is very. Is it Baumeister? Like this looks very Merc to me.
It looks like it, yeah.
I don't think it is, but it like definitely looks the part. And like just general, like it's got wireless phone charging.
There's a lot of storage space as well.
Hell of a lot of storage space. Got like a little, which a lot of cars nowadays don't have, like the little slot for your sunglasses.
Oh yeah.
Which is quite kiff. And again, like you said, the sunroof. I love a panoramic sunroof. And if you've got kids, like that must be such a treat.
If you are looking for a hybrid SUV,
that's super luxe.
This is definitely one to go and have a look at.
Yeah, for sure.
Out of 5, 4.
For comparing apples to apples, yeah.
Okay.
4. Definitely, like it looks the part, it plays the part, and it is a comfortable drive. It really is. Like, sure, there's one or two things that I think could have been better, and like we say, like nothing wrong with a couple of buttons. But again, you've got that on your steering wheel. I like that steering column. It's not too, but yeah, it's not gonna. Let me not go backtrack now. Now I'm seeing lots of things. That's the thing. As soon as you stand still, you're like, ooh, that's pretty. But yes, I like the steering wheel. We can end with that. But yeah, so
yeah, definitely a car worth going for a test drive.
Apex, the peak of South African motoring.